Live from Los Angeles. Welcome to Good Morning La La Land. I'm Dr. Erin.
I'm Rob Mack.
And I'm Jessica Moy. This is Good Morning La La Land, America's first live streaming daily talk show, coming to you Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. Now also available on Apple TV and Roku. And today we have a very special co-host in the house, dermatologist Dr. Sandra Lee, aka Dr. Pimple Popper.
Yes. I'm here. Thank you for having me. This is such an honor. This is the first time I've ever done this before.
Right?
Joining us.
Well, we're so excited because we're going to talk about confidence today, and this woman definitely has some. It's all about hashtag Manifestation Monday, and we have some women in the house that have learned confidence like no others. So we're so excited and honored to have you here.
Yeah, this has been. I mean, you know, you guys, they've invited me. You guys invited me to bring some of the people that I think in my life are amazing, and that I've discovered over the last 3 years on social media, certainly, and. I'm really happy. They all said yes, everybody I asked. And so it's just really, I think they're going to have some really important messages.
I love that.
Well, we are so excited to welcome your special guest to the show, and we'll get to that in just a minute. But how incredible is it that you've been able to build this community through your fans, the Popaholics?
Okay, but wait a minute. Through pimple popping. That's like the craziest thing. I mean, what in the world is happening here? I tell myself that all the time. I mean, what's going on? You know, we have a TV show and it's doing really well, and I have a book coming out, and again, it's just so many things that I have to show you guys, and I'm really proud of it.
Well, it's enlightening, it's entertaining, it's therapeutic, it's educating. I mean, you've really kind of found and mastered a very niche market.
Yes.
Right. And how's the show going?
The show, we just wrapped the first season, and it's been very stressful, I'm not gonna lie, but it's very exciting. I mean, people remind me, and I have to remind myself all the time, to just enjoy it, because I get kind of tied up in it too much.
But you're showing your job is pretty important. I mean, you're talking about people's lives, and real things can happen. Whereas, you know, when we get stressed around here, it's like, well, you know what, it's not, you know, brain surgery.
Well, yeah, I mean, we all have, you know, relative amounts. We all have that. But I know that the show is about, you know, making sure that people know about what I do as a dermatologist. But it should be entertaining too. That's how you're going to capture people's interest. But then I have a point where I'm always remembering that these are patients that are coming to me from far away with major conditions, and I'm trying to make them better. And I don't want to hurt them. I don't want to do anything wrong. I want to do the best thing I can, while 3 cameras are on me, and, you know, like all these people, you know, all these other things are going on. So that's why it makes it stressful.
Well, you make it look effortless and elegant. You do. You wake up, show up, and shine. I'm so excited to welcome your guests to the show. We have some of our favorite industry gal pals in the house. Good morning, ladies. Hi.
I'm so happy to be all here.
We have Miss Sibley Skulls, aka Sib Vicious, is in the house. TV personality, you might recognize her from E! Good morning, Sib.
Hello, how are you guys?
Oh, so happy you're here. Lauren Mack is in the house. You might recognize her from Homemade Simple on OWN. Hello.
Good morning. Good morning, LA.
Good morning, LA. Good morning, world. And world-renowned makeup artist Ash K. Holm is in the house. Good morning, Ash.
Hi, guys. Good morning.
Hi. And your very own bestie.
Right. She is my right-hand lady. She is the yin to my yang. She is wonderful, and she'll have a lot of things to say, I think. A lot of important stuff.
It's so good to have a wing woman, though.
Yes.
It's really important.
I think that there's a lot of women that go through life and never really figure that out. They might think that they do, but they don't really have it, and it's really nice when you have it. I don't think I had it until like I was in my mid-30s.
Well, look at all the community you have now.
Yeah, they're wonderful. Yes, all these girls are so spectacular, and I found them all through pimple popping too.
Closet Popaholics in the house. Well, here on Good Morning La La Land, we like to know what your morning routine is, how you start your day. Sib, I'd love to start with you. What's your morning like?
Oh, Lord. Should we talk about this one? Because this is crazy, right? Morning routine, wake up. I love to go to the gym today. I'm flipping it around so it'll be an afternoon thing. I just need that mentally for me. I'm going to do that to make sure the rest of my day works out the right way. So definitely hit the gym and figuring out how to blow dry this hair all day long. It's like all over the place. But other than that, you know, just positive attitude, keeping it healthy, and making sure my day feels good for me.
Oh, that's so important. Lauren, what about you? How do you start your day?
Actually, I start my day with a prayer of gratitude. It's one of the biggest things that I think is important to just kind of center myself. I have a 1-year-old child, so it's usually a good cup of coffee and just a prayer of gratitude. I'm just so grateful to be alive.
Oh, gratitude is everything, right? Yeah.
So I start my morning every single day with a green smoothie because I love to live a very active and healthy lifestyle. And after that, I do 10 minutes of meditation. And this is something I live by. I've been doing it for years. And it just helps me to clear my mind and just really allows me to be able to take on any life challenges that come my way. And I know that I'll be able to handle them.
Do you have a mantra, Ash?
Not like I don't have any like particular like mantra that I live by, but I just think it's really important to find something that, works for you. And, I found that meditation, just having like that 10 minutes of like me time has been just like my little safe zone. It's just something that makes me happy and just makes me really calm.
So precious. Raquel, how do you start your morning?
Okay, so I wake up, I have a fennel tea every morning, check my phone, my emails, my texts, social media, go check on the kids, and then I'm in the shower, and then I'm out the door driving everybody to school, and then get to work. And pretty much, try to stay positive. I'm naturally a happy person, so I try to make the best out of any situation that comes my way.
Well, you came into the studio a shining light today. Thank you all so much for being here. We're excited to get to know more about you each later in the show.
It seems like there's definitely one mind. It seems like all of our guests that come in, it's amazing how many people do meditation, take green shakes in the morning. Like it's all very, very similar. We're very positive.
I'm different.
I was going to say, one might say it's so La La Land, but Dr. Sandra, how do you start your day?
I am not a morning person. I get up at the last possible minute. I'm always like, my husband is the alarm, and then once he starts turning on all the lights, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go. And I get up, and I don't brush my hair, because my hair stays the same way all the time, just it's very straight, and just does its own thing. But I brush my eyebrows, and I brush my eyelashes. Those are like the two things that I brush. And I brush my teeth, too. Just get my makeup on. I'm out the door with my pajamas on, which are my scrubs. So that makes my life easy. But yeah, when I come out running, it's like I sometimes feel like a helicopter kind of hovers over and I just drop down and then I'm at work. That's like how kind of crazy I probably create my life to be. But I should meditate more. Like the fact that they're telling me these things, these are actually important things to do.
I don't know if you should fix what's not broken, Doctor. Seems like it's working pretty well for you.
I love that.
Well, we're going to talk more about like your self-care routines later in the show because it's so fascinating. You've really mastered skincare, which can help us transform from the inside out with our confidence, right?
Yes. Yeah, I think that exactly. It's interesting because so much of what I do on the TV show too, and just in life as a dermatologist, has so much to do with confidence. I mean, that's really because your skin is your armor. It's what you wear, and how you show yourself to the world, and you can't really hide it in many ways. We can try to cover things up or improve things with contour and fake eyelashes and things. Yes, but essentially, this is who we are, and so. So much of what I do is really important to instill that, especially when you cannot really change something physical so much. If you can't really change a skin condition or something, you have to still it's really important to treat the emotional side of things.
For sure, absolutely. The definition of confidence really can be described as, a belief in oneself or belief in something. And of course, around here, we know that confidence has to begin within. So how do you do that? How do you do that with your clients to know that, because even the skin is it's an effect of what's going on emotionally, what's going on environmentally, what's going on,
Yes. I mean, I think the way I do this is to, like Raquel said, I'm a pretty happy and positive person too, and I think that that's really important. I realize and I understand that a lot of people are coming to me in a very vulnerable position, even if they're just here for Botox or filler, or they have a huge bump on their body, or psoriasis, or eczema or something. They're coming because they want help with this condition, and it makes them feel a certain way, probably bad about themselves. And so it's really important for me to be happy and positive. I mean, honestly, if somebody says like, oh, they have a cast on and they broke their leg, or they've been going through hard times, I'm usually the one that's going to say, oh, well, at least your other leg works, right? You got to think of like the positive side of things. And I think that that's how I approach my patients too. And is probably part of really what helped this grow so much.
Right.
Because I think people trust me, and I take that very seriously, that they have this trust in me too.
Rob, you're an expert, obviously, in happiness. What would you say are some of the key things people can do to start building their self-confidence?
Wow, great question. I would say, so self-confidence really consists of self-efficacy and self-esteem, right? Those are the two pieces. And the interesting thing about the research is that when you build your competence, you actually feed your confidence. And when you feed your confidence, you build your competence. So it's like this positive feedback loop. So, one thing, of course, is just to be clear about your purpose and to make sure that you prioritize that first and do what you can to like develop mastery. That's huge.
sure.
The other piece is, completely in line with Erin, which is I think the deepest sense of self-confidence is being deeply in tune with your spiritual inheritance or who you really are at the core, which is spirit.
It's so interesting because people talk about the vicious circle a lot, right? Not Sid Vicious, we'll get to that later in the show, but that vicious circle we can get tied up in, but I never really thought about that like positive vortex that you can circle in.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you need to do. I mean, I think some people, and I think you said that really well, that you take what you have and you bring it up. You don't take it and let it suffocate you. You use those things to your advantage. I think that the biggest failures that I've gone through in my life personally have actually made me a better dermatologist, a better wife, a better friend, a better person. And so use those things to your advantage. Don't let them bring you down.
Right. Also, I think about confidence. One of the things that helps people a lot is being consistent and reinstilling the trust within yourself, which is interesting because it goes into skincare. Because the more integral, the more consistent you are in your skincare management. So tell us a little bit about that.
Maybe I should have you counsel them. Yeah, I mean, I think that that's really important. I think that control has a lot to do with treatments that you have and having success with them. And that is actually why I actually created a skincare line that has it started with the acne skincare line, because I really felt like there's a lot of people in the world who can't see a dermatologist, who isn't able to doesn't have the money, the time, the distance to be able to travel to see somebody, but they need something that they know can, like I'm trying to create products that I know will work, that I as a dermatologist would recommend to my own patients. But I feel like if they understand it, why it works, if you educate them with the videos that I post, things that I might explain to them, if they understand, oh, this medicine works for blackheads and this one works for acne, and I know why it works, they're more willing to use it. They're going to be more compliant. So, and that's giving them control, not just saying, use this just because it says it's an acne treatment and you find it in your aisle at the drugstore. You don't really know what it's doing. You're not going to use it. You're not going to be as inclined to use it.
Well, I will say, after the initial conversation when I met you the first time at one of your events, I've been using SLMD skincare religiously since then, and it has completely transformed my skin. And she did not pay me to say this right now. Really,
thank you.
yeah, really, truly. I use it in the morning, I use it at night, and because it was really affecting my self-confidence. Obviously, I'm on camera every day. We wear a lot of makeup. I'm going from here to a photo shoot to a red carpet, and I needed something, and I didn't know who to trust, but I trusted you. And it's really been so helpful. There's a body acne system, so you can keep things in your gym bag. And really, it's like,
try to make things convenient too.
Absolutely.
Just think of all those sorts of things.
Because
for a
it
busy
really,
person like you.
it really does matter, and I've been so diligent about my self-care, but I couldn't find something that really worked for me, and you made it foolproof. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you. That means so much to me, actually.
Yeah.
Because that's exactly why I'm creating this. It's not to be foofy, and I didn't climb some mountain in the Andes to like find a special berry. I mean, if it worked, I would. Yeah. But I'm trying to give you things that I know are going to help, that I know with time and evident clinical studies and things that are going to help you. Maybe it's not going to help everybody. Somebody with really bad acne, needs to see a doctor, needs a prescription. But there's so many people who can't see a doctor, and I know you can see a doctor if you really wanted to, but you need something that's simple and easy. You don't have, you need something that you can take control, and you feel like, at least if I try this, I mean, hopefully it'll work in everybody, but it may not work in every single person. But I want to give things that I know do something.
Well, what we found most is that we need community, right, Erin? And that's one of the special things that's really come from the show, is the amazing people we've had the opportunity to have some incredible conversations, yourself included. We'd like to show you last week. Rewind. And I'm manifesting motivation today. I have a hard case of the Mondays, hashtag Motivation Monday.
We have Lily Melger in the house. Look at you, gorgeous dress.
Thank you guys. I love seeing you guys again. You were so much fun on the red carpet at the Emmys.
You have the ability without the training to truly connect with countless celebrities, dictators. What is it, do you think about yourself that allows you to create that connection?
Well, you know, I look at everyone as someone exciting. I don't see class distinction, color distinction, anything. To me, everybody's everybody.
And we love watching you on Snowfall.
From doing this show and, you know, the crack epidemic, and now in 2018 with the opioid health crisis, what I just really want everyone to understand, addiction is addiction.
Happy. So, and I've been there. I've been rich. I've been poor. And honestly, I really think that being poor, you can find much more happiness in that moment. I know that sounds weird, but that's true.
I think a lot of people really relate to an equal lifestyle right now, especially in Los Angeles.
And I just want to acknowledge you guys and just say that you guys are a great inner circle. You guys both bring me, you guys really do, you totally bring me up.
Every day something goes wrong. It's just, you know, then everybody says, oh, you know, because the moon's in retrograde. To me, it seems like the moon's always in retrograde.
I love that. I think that all the planets are doing something serious right now. But what I know is that I love our community. And I do want to just reiterate that La La Land is not just about Los Angeles. It's a state of mind. It's really, we bring people on because we want to hear inspirational stories. And we want to find the common denominator, because whether you're, you know, popping pimples or whether you're doing whatever, we all have the same desire to make a difference in the world. And, you know, we have human nature in us, and we want to find those. And it's been so enlightening for me to just realize that.
And I have to say something else too, that what I find really compelling about your show is the fact that you're all really positive. And I see the support and love here, because a lot of times I'll be on shows and, you know, you'll see people talk to each other and be really friendly on camera, and then off camera they're just like, you know, they don't talk to each other, on their phones, they're doing their
Great
own
actors.
thing. But you guys love each other, it's obvious.
Yeah.
And I think that is what is going to make it successful.
We love you.
Principles over personalities. We have our moments, but very, very, very few. So on that note, let's take a look at some of your, we have a special look into your life.
Okay. Oh, really?
Dr. Lee will be right in, okay?
Tease it. Squeeze it. Your skin is the largest organ on your body. Pop it. And we won't stop bleeding. They're fun to remove. Are you okay? Yeah. Celebrating a new pop culture. Very satisfying to watch.
I know. It's definitely gonna get messy.
Dr. Pimple Popper, Thursday at 9. Brand new to TLC.
That's the UK version, I think. Oh, wow. Yes, it's I think next week it's gonna be in the Netherlands too. It's like an international. That's the advantage of TLC. It's like international, so it's quite amazing. But then I'm like, gosh, if I go to like the Netherlands, people are gonna know who I am.
I hate
It's
to
like
break
a
it to you,
horror
babe,
film.
but
I'm
you're
like
covered in
looking, and I'm like, I don't want to see, but I want to look, but I'm like, oh no.
That's right. It's crazy. It's just a whirlwind, and I'm really proud of the show. I was really scared when it first came out, because I was afraid. This is something that, again, like the whole control thing I said with my patients, I like control myself. So the fact that I wasn't really the one that was creating this show was really nerve-wracking for me. But when the show came out, I was actually in an airport. I couldn't watch it myself, and my tweets started going crazy. And then people were calling me, the producers were calling me saying, oh my gosh, it's doing amazing. I mean, and people were loving it. They were all saying wonderful things. It was really, really wonderful. I mean, I think the producers have really done a good job of creating this really compelling story about these patients. And I get to see something that I don't normally see. I don't really see how it affects people later. I don't really think about that either. And so I get to actually see how something that I've done has changed somebody's life for the better. And it makes them look better than I realize, than I am, you know?
No, that's your reality.
No, but
you are
it's like,
changing people's
you know,
lives.
But we all do in our own ways. And I just found a different way to sort of do it, you know?
Back from Los Angeles, welcome.
Welcome back to Good Morning La La Land.
We are live in Los Angeles with our very special co-host, Miss Sandra Lee, aka Dr. Pimple Popper, is in the house today. Thank you so much for helping us host this very special episode.
This tell us about this episode?
No, thank you for hosting this special episode with us.
I was like, I have to run the show. I'm so scared about it.
And you brought a very special guest.
Yes, I did. This is Ashley Holmes. She's a beautiful woman and a fantastic makeup artist, and we want to hear all about it, actually.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Hear about
So
this.
I
I
actually
never
grew
heard
up in
this.
Houston, Texas, and that's where I started my whole journey, and I'm still on this journey. I actually started off working inside of a mall. I worked for a makeup company. So I've literally started from the bottom and worked my way all the way up to the top, and I'm still working at this every single day. And in my spare time, what I would do was reach out to other creative, individuals that shared the same vision as me, and we would create different looks, and we would put them on maybe myself, or I would find a cute model to put them on. And it's really important to just find things to keep yourself busy in your spare time. You have to work your butt off every single day, and honestly, just work so hard until you become paid to stay busy. And I really live by that, and that's something that I still do every day. It's just on a more elevated, level now. When I'm reaching out to other creative people, it's much different now. But that's something that's really helped me, and I promise if you do that, you really will see growth. And no matter what it is that you do, it's all about researching and finding things that work for you to get to the next step, the next goal in your life. And what it also has really helped me is it's very important whenever you're building a brand to be very mindful about who you associate yourself with. You are who you hang out with. The people that you surround yourself with can either bring you up or bring you down. So that's very important. I like to surround myself around people that are very uplifting, very positive, people that have qualities that I aspire to have. And it's something that I've seen, really help me, and I still do it to this day.
What have you learned about yourself in this journey?
I've learned a lot about myself. The journey's not easy. I've had a lot of ups and downs, a lot of challenges, but what keeps me confident and what keeps me going is having a support system, having that strong support system. And, that could be anybody, like your family, your spouse. For me, it's my husband, and I'm very lucky to have that. He's like the backbone of my business, honestly. He keeps me going. He lifts me up every day. We're constantly picking each other up and pushing each other to be the best versions of ourselves.
So Ash, I have a question for you, because we're talking about confidence, and clearly you're very confident, beautiful
Thank you.
inside and out. But where is that line between women that are using makeup to fulfill themselves and because they're not confident versus using makeup as an expression? Is there any thing you could define for people out there, how they can make sure that it's coming from an authentic place instead of looking from
it's tricky, because it's I feel like every woman who doesn't want to look and feel beautiful. That's why I got into the industry, because I love to put a smile on people's faces and make them look and feel good. But I feel like it's something different for everybody, and it kind of empowers you, you know what I mean? And it just gives you that sense of confidence. So, no matter how old you are, I guess everyone does it for all different types of reasons, and no matter what, if it makes you feel great, I would definitely do it.
Yeah, I would agree. I think there's people who do it for creative reasons, and there's people who do it to just feel more beautiful. And I think that those are all great things.
It's a confidence booster too,
because they show their talent and their skill.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What I really love about you, and why I've been so drawn to you, or I'm so happy for your successes in life, is she is such a hard worker. She is she's very persistent, and she continues to work hard, and she just you have this goal, I see, and you're just going straight towards it.
Yeah,
you do.
Yeah, not a day goes by where
but
I'm
you're
not
very
thinking about it.
professional.
Thank you.
And very discreet, and but still very positive and very uplifting for
Thank
others.
you.
And I think that is what is so important. And I'm just so lucky to have met her and have her in my life. So I'm really lucky that I get to, that I've been a part of sort of her journey, and she's gonna, she's going towards the stars, and I just feel like I'm here watching her.
Oh, well, I really appreciate it. Thanks for taking me along on this journey.
I'm just
today.
pulling you in the pimple ball.
Yeah, I love it. I know.
So it's really nice. It's
Thank
really nice
you.
to know her.
Speaking of stars, you've worked with plenty.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
Can you mention any of them, or see
Yes,
some of them on Instagram?
yeah, of course. I work with the Kardashian Jenner family. I also work with Ariana Grande. I've worked with Lana Del Rey, just to name a few.
But there must be there must be something then very, very special about what you do. And as she mentioned, the discretion and the care that you have to be able to work with people who are very private. I mean, sure, you see them all over Instagram, but who they let into their inner circle is very precious.
It's a big deal, definitely. I mean, there's certain qualities that I think, you know, as a celebrity, you're probably looking for in a makeup artist, and that's someone that's just, it's very discreet. And, you know, there's a you asked me about a mantra earlier, and I was like, okay, I need a minute to think about it, but I'm back with the mantra.
Okay,
and
give it to me.
And this is just gonna like make it plain and simple for you. It's know your job, do your job, mind your business. You know what I mean? Like I'm here to just do one thing, and that is my job. I'm not here to get personal into your life. I just want to make you look and feel good. That's the most rewarding thing to me. And the fact that I'm in charge of this person's image is everything, and I love it.
Right. And the fact that you don't have that, like, you know, underlying motive, you know, that they might feel that way, that you're trying to like ride on their coattails. That is what makes you successful, though. You have it in yourself. You know what I mean? You don't need that. And I think just by your showing that you don't do that, that's key.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Go ahead. What do you think is the greatest obstacle you've experienced in like building your business?
Okay, so you know what? It's those challenges in life that, like, you know, you go through, and at that moment it's the worst thing ever, but I always have to stop and think about it, and it's always the most rewarding. It's like the biggest win usually when you're going through like that biggest defeat and challenge in your life, and this has happened to me numerous times. And whenever I go through this, maybe it's that job, the promotion you didn't get, you know, and this has literally happened to me when I worked at a mall for a makeup company. I interviewed for this position that I wanted, and I studied for this position for years. And finally, it was a very high up job. And like, finally, I interviewed for it and I didn't get it. And I had to take a step back, and I was like, you know what, when one door closes, another door opens. And you've got to trust the path that you're on, and just trust yourself. And I knew that I was made for so much more, and I could still do makeup, but I could do it for myself as an entrepreneur and become a celebrity makeup artist. So I just trusted that path, and you know, I ended up taking a big leap of faith, and I moved across the country to brand myself and build my business. And I think it's moments like that that become your biggest stepping stones in your career. You just have to stop and process it and just trust yourself.
So I have a question for both of you, because both of you are highly of what that life looks like, or is it more of like a mantra, or what is it when you're really focusing on a goal? How do you stay focused on it?
For me, it's interesting. Like, I feel like I've always been in this like tunnel vision, you know, ever since I was like really young. I don't know what it is, but I've always just wanted to work really, really hard. And I think it just comes down to like my background and how my parents raised me and things like this. But for me, what has, you know, just really helped me is just getting in my mode, like just doing things to keep me busy. And you know
I think it's the same with me. Like, I think that I have a pretty strong work ethic.
Yeah.
I don't think I realized that I was like a AAA personality until maybe like, you know, after college, maybe in residency. But I think for me, it's that persistence and that passion. You really do have to like what you're doing and believe in it. Yes.
I think you have to be obsessed with it.
Yes, it is. That's what I was going to say. That's an obsession, really.
Mm-hmm.
And that was what it was for me. That's why I was able to build this sort of thing. It's just that you have this obsession, and you're like thinking about it all the time. You're thinking about what to do, how to build it, what you can do. You know, everything's sort of centered around it. And I think that's
also key. Another thing this is just something that I think is so great is, you know, at the beginning of every year, I create a vision board, and I get a big poster, and it sounds so silly, but I go and get a big poster and, you know, magazines, and I print things off the internet that I want, and I lay them all out. You know, it's like a collage of all the things that I see having in my life. Maybe it's like the keys to the Tesla, or like the $3 million mansion, or you know, the celebrities that you want to work with, or you know, I put like a master class like on my vision board, and I put, you know, certain celebrities on that, and I can't tell you how amazing that feels to be able to like look at that board every day. You put it in a spot where you know you're gonna see it. So for me, it's like in my glam room while I'm getting ready, I like look up at that board, like I see you, you know, I'm gonna make this happen. And I get to check those things off throughout the year, and at the end of the year, you look at that and you're like, wow, this is what I've accomplished. That feels good.
Keep all of them too.
Oh,
right?
definitely.
I want to do
Oh my God, it feels so good.
No,
It's like the
I don't
coolest
think
thing.
I have the time to do that. I haven't had my, No, but I think
It's hard
that's
to make the time for
wonderful
it.
to do
I
that.
probably
think
spent
that's
like
really
3
good.
hours working on
Wow.
this, but it was like when the year first started, and it's amazing. There's things that I want to add to it. It's like the body that I see myself having. It's like all the things. You know what I mean?
Yes,
So
I think
it's great.
that's amazing. That's great to put it out in front of you.
And I
like
think
that.
this is
that
great
is
advice for anyone watching. You know, you have
Absolutely.
to put it into
I'm
the
gonna have to try
universe
to do
what
that,
you want. And not only do you have to put it into the universe, but you have to work your butt off until you see results and see the growth. But laying it all on display, it creates this visual for you and for your life, and what you see yourself having in it will come true.
Thank you for sharing that
Yep.
vision with us. We really appreciate
Where can
it.
people find you?
You guys can find me on social media on Instagram, Ash_KHolm.
Thank you so much. You're so beautiful.
Thank you for having
so much.
me.
Stay tuned. We'll be back with more on Good Morning La La Land. Welcome back. We are
Live from Los Angeles. Welcome back to Good Morning La La Land.
live in Los Angeles with a very special guest host. Dr. Sandra Lee, aka Dr. Pimple Popper, is in the house with us today.
Yes, I brought some guests.
Who do you have with us today?
I have Miss Sibley Scholes,
Yes.
who I met. I don't even know where we met, but I want you to introduce yourself.
Did I
first, so
slide in your
everybody knows.
DMs?
I met
I was
probably.
all up in those DMs.
We'll have to talk about it. I want to remember.
We have to
But
think about
Tell
it.
everybody who you are. What you're doing.
Sibley Scholes, E-News correspondent. This is very strange for me to be getting the questions asked of me. So
Yes.
if I flip them on you,
Please
forgive
do.
me.
We accept the
Forgive me.
challenge. Okay.
Yeah, a host, TV host, started as an MC doing music, transitioned into music hosting, and then went to radio, and then
I mean, that's so when did this all begin? Like when?
the journey.
Yeah.
Originally from the Bay Area, always wanted to live in LA. I just knew I'm like, I want to get out there. I didn't want to be an actor or anything like that. I just knew I wanted to do my music and tour. So I was like, okay, let's go to LA. Went out there. LA actually took me to London. So I lived in London for a couple years. I toured out there, did all my music.
Q Donuts.
Yes. Did everything and worked with Stella McCartney out there on that song.
Wow.
And then came back, broke to Los Angeles. I was like, oh, I'm done touring. We're done now. Huh? That's how it works. I didn't say anything. Came back to LA and I got a call from a friend of mine who does casting, and said that Diddy, Sean Combs, is looking for hosts for a sizzle reel. This is just to do a sizzle, so I wasn't really hosting it. I was just acting as a host on there. And I was an extra, did it for $200, and ended up getting a call saying, would you like to actually host? I said, sure.
Wow.
Didn't know what I was doing, so I kind of stopped music for a little bit, but ended up getting the job as a live show host there. And then left, like I said, went to 92.3 when it came to LA with Big Boy. And then got a call and was auditioning, I guess, going back and forth with E for maybe 8 months or
Wow.
so.
So it's almost like it found you too.
Yes.
Right? You're here and you have this beautiful, charismatic personality.
Thank
And
you.
it was like two batteries that just
Yeah,
went together.
it also made sense just because as a performing artist, I knew how to, especially an MC, I knew how to control the crowd and what people wanted to see and what they wanted to hear, and know how to entertain. So talking to people was easy for me when I sat down with them.
You know, we were mentioning confidence earlier in the show, and I'm wondering, now that you're on camera and you're working at E! and you see yourself on television every day, how has that affected your confidence?
Oh, greatly. I'm looking at this now and like, oh, this is my face is really big right now. I can see everything. I know that's like huge. No, it has. I've struggled actually. I take medicine, you know this, as acne, cystic acne. That's been a big problem of mine forever. When I was touring, I was waking up crying because my face was so broken out just from the stress of that. And then when I got into TV, it was even more magnified because there's people watching you every single day. You're interviewing people. You don't want to think you have bumps all over your face or there's something wrong with you. So it impacted it a lot, but that just made me work harder to figure out what works for my skin, what I can eat, what I can't eat. So it really got me in the health kick as well, just to make sure I knew what I was doing on a daily basis.
Love that. But confidence, I mean, look at you. You're walking confidence. Like women are like, I wish in like my double life, I would have that haircut. And I would like, so
She struts.
I mean,
She struts. That's
serious
what I like
strutting.
to
And they
say.
call you Sib Vicious, huh? Well, you don't seem vicious, but you got a vicious style for sure.
Right.
That's for
Thank
sure.
you. There's some the vicious is in there. It's in there. In the best ways. Yeah, no, it's honestly, just to get back to confidence, I think as a person, and you're talking about the hair, I cut it originally. My hair had been to my butt my entire life since I was a kid. Oh yeah, forever. You guys do not Google those photos. I always had that. I had a boyfriend when I was younger. He said, if you ever cut your hair off, you will be ugly. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna cut it off. So during the Victoria Beckham days when she had the like A line, the short one, I did like one was longer than the other. I did it short first, and then I just said, forget it. And Bow Wow Wow. I don't know if you are familiar with the band and that song, the female lead in that. I wanted to have her kind of image. I'm like, oh, I can kind of relate to what she looks like. She kind of looks like how I look.
Yeah.
So I wanted to.
That's cool.
Yeah.
How did you
do what she
feel
did.
when you made the big transition?
The next morning after cutting it, I woke up and I was sweating like I'm sweating right now. I was like, oh my God, what did I do? I was like, I have no hair and I'm trying to do this and I don't have anything. Yeah, it's been different versions of this. It's growing out right now, but I like to keep it short. Now I feel like my confidence does come from my hair. It makes me more confident because it's not worrying about, oh, what does it look like today or how do I style it? What do I need to do with it? It's just me. When I wake up, this is what it is.
So I have a question for both you ladies because confidence is, I mean, people are really seeking confidence. It's like there's courses out there on confidence, there's all kind of stuff. I actually shaved my head to a junior high. I did one side and my mom said, you cannot do that. The next day I shaved the other side. I said, yes, I can. But, so back to confidence. Do you think that being women that you got to be a little bit rebellious to stand out in your brand, or how does that play into your confidence and your success?
I don't know if I have to be a little rebellious, but I am, and I like to be rebellious.
Yeah.
Like, I don't
Popping
want
Pitbulls
to be
online is kind of
That is very-
rebellious.
yeah,
Come on.
But I mean, I just think that is something that maybe you do connect with the young population because of that.
Right.
Because I think that they feel like they're being constrained. I've always felt that you do want to think outside of the box, and maybe that's being rebellious. You don't want to just go along with everybody else. You got to think for yourself.
Yeah.
And if you really believe in something strongly, don't be afraid of saying it, because there's probably other people thinking that too, and they just are afraid to say it. So if we can be positive role models, which I think you definitely are to young women around the world, and I think that that's really important for me to try to represent myself in that way. And that looks like rebellion to people, and maybe it is. But I think that, and maybe that has to do with confidence. I don't know. I don't know if you can have no confidence and be rebellious.
Right.
I guess you can't. You have to just get out there and do it, right?
Do it.
I'm wondering if it's more risk taking than rebellion. Really
Yes.
just going outside the box and really taking a risk.
Or if you feel like you're right about something, and that or you feel like something strongly about something, and it's going to do good in the world and not hurting other people,
Right.
like pursue it, like do
yeah.
it. Don't be afraid of it.
Yeah, I think that's what a lot of people, even talking about the hair, women will come up to me and say, I wish I could just cut it off. I didn't wish, I just did it. I didn't know my head was this little or how it was going to look like. It's like a little peanut head. I didn't know what it was going to look like, but I didn't care. I just heard someone tell me that I couldn't do something or I was going to look a certain way, and I said, no, I'm not, screw that. I'm going to do what I want to do.
That is rebellious right there. That is what that's
So it's so interesting to hear this conversation. It's so profound because the one thing we know from science is that more highly correlated with success is confidence as opposed to competence. Right?
Yeah.
Confidence is much more important, and confidence actually helps you take risks. And when you take risks, you actually build your confidence, right? So that they feed each other. So it's so interesting to hear you talk about it in that way.
That vicious circle we were mentioning.
Yes.
But I do think actually it's really important, and I say this a lot to like fellow physicians and things, or people that are learning in residency or in training. There's a big difference between confidence and arrogance.
Yes.
But there is a fine line, and I think that is a tough thing with a lot of physicians, a lot of surgeons out there. You can cross over into the line, and it is important to remain. I have to be confident in what I do so that I make sure my patients trust me.
Right.
And if I came in and I was like, I don't know, let's see, I've only done this once.
What do you think the difference is between arrogance and confidence?
I think arrogance is a little bit being a little foolish, or being a little bit more too cowboy, but it crosses over. I think they cross over.
They do definitely cross over.
I think arrogance is doing something that can hurt other people just for the betterment of yourself. That's something that you have to keep in line. I don't know if there's anything else.
No, I agree with that. I think, especially when you watch her and if you are a patient of hers and you see the show, you make people feel at ease, but you're knowledgeable. To be knowledgeable is to have confidence, I think. But to be
Don't act like I'm above them.
Yes, you don't.
Yes.
Yeah,
I
I
make
love
sure
that.
that that's really important.
Yeah.
That people understand that I'm their friend. I try to connect with them, and I think, and I don't act like I'm better than them. I don't, you know, and I don't think I am. You know, I think that I just have certain knowledge in a certain thing, just like everybody else has knowledge about, you know, whatever they love to do.
I love that. And it's something that you feel like it's palpable with both of you, with all four of you. Really, it is that, you know, the way I see it is that confidence is, or arrogance is, I'm great, you're not.
Yes.
Confidence is, I'm great and you're great too.
You're actually,
And you all four do that exceptionally
way
well.
to describe it. That is a great way to describe it.
That's
I'm
great.
great, but you're great yourself, and I'm not going to push you down to make myself feel better about myself.
Right.
yeah, and everyone has their own lane, which is why I don't go into things when there's other women who may have the same hair or may dress the same or we're the same race or different things like that. We're all unique into what we have, and that sounds cliche, but it's the truth. Everybody has something different to offer. I'm not going to get the same thing that the other person would get, you know, so I accepted and owned that.
So Sibley, what are you up to? What are you most excited about right now?
Ooh, I am leaving tonight on a plane. That's exciting. It's my boyfriend's birthday, so we're going vacation. Finally, I never get to go on vacation. VMAs are coming up. I'll be covering that for E. I love music, like I mentioned. So anytime I can get on the carpet with music coverage and just talk to artists, it's the best time for me. So definitely looking forward to that. I have some shows that I created. I'm having a little bit of a free time that's coming up, so I'm like hit the ground running, just getting all that shot and done.
What I really like about what you do too is that you show you're a real person. You're not like, you know, so concerned about this image that you have to represent, and you are not afraid of being silly and being a real person. That's why people connect with you. You know, if you meet some amazing people that I would just clam up with, you know, like if I met them, and then, but you make it easy. You actually make fun of yourself. You actually think it's a funny thing.
You have to, and I think that's the only way too. I don't know how you guys do it, but it seems like easy for you too as well to talk to people. It's just, I like to make things a conversation. I like to make it real life, because no matter who it is. I will say though, I did get nervous recently. Tom Cruise, that was, I was like, oh, it's Tom.
It's
I was like,
Mission
is
Impossible.
he talking to me right now? I didn't know what I was talking about, but I got words out. But even then, I just tried to find a way, and like I laughed with him. Because his runs in every movie are so crazy, and they get crazier and crazier. I was like, do you ever time yourself with 40-yard dash? I just threw it out, and he like actually had an answer for it. So yeah, I just tried to be as personable as possible.
A real person. You're yourself.
Yeah, and I
That's
think
what
I get
you
that
are.
from my family. If you look on my Instagram, my social, my grandmother, I think she is the funniest person. She's 94 years old. She just lives life. She doesn't have a filter. And my mom is the same way. My dad's very honest, and my sister as well. So I think I really get that from family.
Oh,
love
that's
that.
beautiful. Tell people where they can follow your journey.
It is at SIB as in boy _ vicious. VICIOUS. That's across all the platforms.
All right.
Check it out.
We're excited to see you on E covering the VMA. Stay
Thanks
tuned.
for having me, guys.
Absolutely. We'll be back with more on Good Morning La La Land.
Welcome back to Good Morning La La Land.
We are live in Los Angeles with Dr. Sandra Lee, aka Dr. Pimple Popper, and her special guest today.
Yes, I would like to introduce you all to the beautiful, talented Miss Laura Mack. I want you to tell them all who you are.
Thank you so
Laura,
much. Thank
so
you guys
nice
for
to
having
meet
me.
you.
Thank you so much. I'm so honored to be here. It's such a great program. And like you said, I can feel the love. But I'm Lauren Mack. I'm an interior designer and a host of different television shows. But right now I'm focused on Homemade Simple for Oprah Winfrey Network. It's a Oprah Network.
That little thing.
Actually, I have an interesting story how I know her too. She showed up in my office. Like, you know, my office is not really, it's in the suburbs of LA. Like, it's about like an hour and a half away sometimes if you live on the west side. And she came into my office because she is a popaholic. One of my first like famous people that I met that came to my office because and we became such close friends. She's a
Now
wonderful
it sounds a little more stalkery.
She had a legitimate little black head.
I'm
but
looking for.
legitimate.
I was always. I am a popaholic. I'm an OG popaholic. I started following Dr. Lee when she had 80 followers. So
Way
when
long time
Instagram
ago.
just began, they had how you hashtag everything. So
Got it on the ground floor.
Yeah, not even early. But I'm obsessed with the skin, and I
Yes.
love popping pimples. I honestly think if I wasn't an interior designer, I would be a dermatologist.
You got my job, your eye on my job. I know.
It's true. I know. I want to like trade places for a day.
You guys have matching necklaces, so
Oh,
if somebody
me
got
too, yes,
somebody a
I-
necklace.
So cute.
But anyway, she's just a really good person. Like somebody who is so, you know, because I feel like, you know, in the business, you don't really know who you can trust. Not that I'm in the business, but I've been in doing things but in the past and working with other people. And she's just so giving and wants to help you and make you a better person. And she's just great. And that's why I think she's going so far in her life.
So tell us about your show on OWN.
So it's a 1 hour special every Saturday morning. Our host is LALALAND, and we go to different homeowners' houses and help to rebuild
I think
their
that
lives.
would sound like fun. I would love it.
I would be so honored. Girl, I can't imagine. I want all the
patients
dilated
that day.
pores
You
and
just
whatever.
imagine
Using these nails to get in the deep spots.
Were you always interested in interior design?
Yeah, absolutely. So I actually didn't know that I had a knack for interior design. It was something that just came naturally to me when I was a little kid. I'd go to my babysitters' houses and I would move their sofa or their chairs and fluff their pillows. And it kind of was like a neurotic thing. So I think really the message is to take your talents and figure out a way to utilize them, because for me it was just like space, and I had to have the picture sung the right way, and they couldn't be crooked, and you know I wanted everything clean and organized, and so it was just something that was my natural talent. In high school I was a graffiti artist, and I liked to run around at night and paint with my friends, and it was my dream that I was going to sell my little Honda Civic and travel the world with my friends that I had met, international friends. And so, but my mom was like, no girl, you're going to college. And I was like, well, how am I going to go to college and do art and actually make a living off of it? And so my natural talents for design and just kind of space planning really came together with my love for art. And I was like, well, I guess I'll go to school for interior design. And the very first day that I went to school, I was like, this is what I was meant to do.
Wow.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, you were living in the Midwest, right? Your family's in the Midwest, so
I'm
you
from Oklahoma
moved
City.
here.
Yeah, I'm a small town girl. I'm from Oklahoma City. Hi, shout out to OKC. And I just thought, you know, I live by the mantra of why not? You know, someone's going to be successful. Why not me? And someone's going to have to do it. And why can't it be me? And so when I remember when I was telling everyone, I'm going to go to California, and they were like, well, why would you go there? And I was like, well, why not? Why not? You know, if you fail, you can always come home. That's the greatest thing about being at home. And I remember when we were driving, my dad drove me out here, and we were driving down the PCH. It's his favorite place in that California. And every time we'd see a big house, my dad goes, oh man, that's such a beautiful house. And I was like, well, why couldn't I get that? Yeah. You know, there's a really fancy car. Well, why can't I drive that? And so that was my mantra, is like, you know, it takes the fear out of it, because and it takes the responsibility, I think, out of it. Like the responsibility for failure. Yeah, exactly. So I felt confident, just kind of like, well, hey, listen, you got a shot at it. Someone's got to do it. And why can't it be me?
How do you maintain that? Because especially in Los Angeles, in Hollywood, in entertainment, there's a lot of rejection.
Yeah.
So how do you maintain that confidence and that why not mantra?
You know, that's a good question. I think I still figure it out daily. You know, there is a lot of rejection in life in general. I mean, I could be a post office worker and still get rejected, and it wouldn't take the sting out of it any less. You know, I just have to overcome
it. I feel like the way you do, you know, like you don't let it bother you. You let it, like you take that. And you
it bothers me.
Yeah.
You feel it.
I say, women, we don't forget rejection. We just morph it into something else.
Right. Watch me do it.
Yeah, exactly. But I gotta say, I try to focus on the times that I've been successful more than the times I've failed, and use the failures to learn something. I mean, I have failed more times than I care to count. I've learned a lot of lessons the hard way. And I still do. I'm a new parent. I make mistakes every day. And I still have to get up and just try to brush it off and make a better decision the next time. I mean, my parents taught me life is a series of decisions. And then, of course, the responses to those decisions. So I just try to make good decisions and do the best thing I can for myself.
Right. But I think you show that you're a regular person like everybody else, and then you become a role model that way. You know, you make mistakes like we all do, you know? So that's just life.
But both of you guys are what I would call living your dharma, meaning that you're living your purpose, you have incredible careers, and you're making a difference. And it's interesting because, you know, when you think of something like that, you think of having to be, I don't know what, but I mean, you're doing it through interior design, you're doing it through a show that is, you know, very kind of materialistic, if you will, but you've brought in this fun, positivity, and all that stuff. So it's so cool. What's it like for you guys to be living your dharma?
I don't know. I like that though. I'm gonna have to go Google Dharma now. I've never heard of this. But I think she does things similar. I mean, like I'm trying to transform people's lives. You're transforming people's lives because you're transforming their space, you know?
Absolutely.
And I think that that's really important. That's what probably makes you proud of what you do.
Yeah, you know, that's true. I also, too, I just think it's about being your honest and authentic self. What makes you so amazing is that you come through on camera, you don't try to overtalk anyone or overspeak anyone. You talk to them on their level. For me, too, it's kind of like that, too. I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings or, you know, I try to leave a wake of goodness behind me.
Right.
You know, one of the things that I think is most interesting about my journey and my experience on television, because I also used to host a talk show too, is living in my truth. You know, I lost over 140 pounds, and that can be a lot. Well, thank you. But it's ironic that we're sitting here talking about being confident in one's skin, because I've been every size, and you know, I've seen the goodness of being overweight and being happy there, and maybe not so happy sometimes too, and even being thin, I've seen, you know, a varying degree of happiness and kindness. And one thing I can say about it is to be able to live on both sides of that coin has really taught me a lot about myself and who I am inside. And so that's kind of one of the things I like to share that journey with people, because I know a lot of people right now are watching this show and can understand the same journey.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for sharing that. And
Right.
being vulnerable and authentic
I
with
love
that.
that. You're so beautiful.
Thank you. You're
So
so
fun. So where can people find you?
Well, I'm on all of my social media handles at Lauren Mack. That's with 2 Ks, M-A-K-K. Yes, Gunny, the getaway.
They're not related.
Could have been.
Exactly.
We're waiting for the show called Why Not? Because we know that there's
There you
infinite
go.
potential in this universe,
Yes.
and you're knowing that you're clearly manifesting at a level that so many people would love to learn more about.
It's
So,
absolutely true.
live from Los Angeles, welcome back to Good Morning La La Land.
We're so excited because we have a very special guest host with us. Dr. Sandra Lee, aka Dr. Pimple Popper, is in the house with her very special friend.
Yes, I would like to introduce everybody. If they don't follow me on social media, but if you do, then you probably know her. This is Raquel. She is actually she's my best friend.
Aw.
And I brought her here because she is somebody who really represents a part of really why I'm so confident myself. Perhaps, you know, I don't like to really say that. But you know that she teaches me so much about life, and I feel like she has so much to share with the world, really. So this is Raquel. No, we're not gonna. We're not gonna cry. I just want to tell you a little bit about why So I'm gonna introduce you instead.
Okay, yes.
She's my best friend, and we met really in school because our kids go to the same school. But she is somebody who is the street smarts to my book smarts. We really grew up in different worlds. And so for us to really become so close, it probably is a strange thing for people. I think a lot of her family were like, why are you hanging out with her?
Yes.
You know, and probably my family, my friends are probably like, oh my gosh, it's so cool that you're hanging out with her. Like, how are you like so cool like that? She likes you. You're such a geek. You're such a nerd, you know? But we really mesh together well. And she's a lot about girl power and bringing people up, and really supportive. And I try to do the same thing for her. And she's just taught me a lot about being like a woman and a good friend with somebody.
So can you tell us, elaborate a little bit more? Like, what do you mean? Like, tell us a couple things that have gone on.
What are things that go on? Like, you know.
You can't cry. Don't
I'm
cry.
not gonna cry.
We actually fell in love at first sight.
Yeah, I just think that we have, what were we talking about the other day? That we have very similar kind of personalities. We're both like a rebellious, kind of sassy people, and I'm in a box that's different. Like, I am a physician. I need to be professional. I have to be a certain way. And she's like the opposite. She's like really rebellious and sassy, but now she's got to be like more like me. So I guess it's like we are like each other's maybe alter ego. Like, this is how I really want to be, or maybe I don't know, she really wants to be like me. She probably doesn't.
After today, I'm like, oh my God.
But you know, I think that we really complement each other well. She reminds me to take time for myself, to really concentrate on myself and make sure that I'm healthy and feel, you know, she's the one that says, go and do a spa day, or, you know, meditate. She'd be the one that tells me to do these sorts of things. And I'm the one that tells her, you need to reach for the stars. You need to, like, if you want to do something, you got to work at it yourself. You got to do this, you know?
Absolutely.
How has Sandra inspired you?
Oh gosh, in so many ways. I pretend that I don't like listen to her, but she you know, she'll like yell at me because I'm really out there. I always tell her I don't know why we're friends because I'm a liability. Like I'm sure you want to be my friend.
I thought but you're a gorgeous selfie and Insta story, so there's that.
So, you know, she inspires me to, you know, really, I don't know my husband works like crazy, and I've always thought that he was somebody that, you know, oh my gosh, he works so hard. But after meeting and being Sandra's friend and being in her world, gosh, does she work. Like, you have no idea. This TLC show, I gave her a push gift today because I said, I feel like you've been giving birth, but instead of a few hours, it's felt like 3 months or more because she works every hour. I mean, she'll send me texts at 4 or 5 in the morning. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like, you know, she's just
I hate
inspires
it, but I
me.
hate it and I enjoy it. And I think that you all are like that too. Like it's hard. It's not like it's easy to
You
do
can't
what
turn
you
it
gotta
off.
do. Yeah, but you can't turn it off. Yeah, you
She's
can't.
just such a hardworking person, and she just inspires me to just always do better. And you know, she's always right here, like, hey, maybe you shouldn't say that, or maybe you should do this. And although I try to act like, okay, no, but you know, I sit back and I'm like, okay, you know, she's right. And there's just, I mean, her heart is, I mean, like she said, my friends would look back and say, you know, how are you best friends with like this doctor? And I'm like, her personality and her heart, and she loves me for who I am. And that is like, for me, amazing, because I'm not gonna, I am who I am anywhere.
We hear a lot about chemistry with couples, you know, but I believe there's full chemistry with friends. Like you can't explain it. Like over the course of your life, you just meet somebody and there's just something there.
Right.
So what is it when you guys met? How did where tell us about how you met?
Can
It's
I
like
say
it's like
this?
asking a couple. Like how did you two meet?
We met over.
We can. Yeah,
We met over blowjob drinks. Blowjob drinks.
We did. Okay, I'm gonna tell you the story though. So like I actually was. Yeah. See. Yeah. I should have said that. You're allowed to say that.
Whatever. I'm sorry.
Just don't curse. She might curse. It's just like, you know. But I was a day that I was supposed to work. Like I was supposed to do surgery all day, but my surgery day happened to be canceled, and I was going to school to drop off my kids, and was her birthday. She was with all her. The women at school, they were all going to go to the Ivy for lunch, you know, and I rolled out, I was in my scrubs, and I was like, hey, what are you guys doing? And I didn't really know her that well. She's like, oh, I'm having a birthday. Why don't you come to my birthday, you know? And I thought, okay, because normally I can't do that. And it just happened to be that I was free. So we went out there. She didn't know me very well. And a lot of, you know, I don't know, other girls didn't know me either. And they were like, what are you doing? You know, why are you asking? It's your birthday. Like, why would you ask someone random to like come to the party? Yeah. And so I went there and I was sitting in the back there. I didn't choose all the way, you know, it's because she's the center of attention. Can you tell she's always in a good way, in a good way. And I just said, I just ordered at the Ivy. I said, let's have some blowjob shots.
And I fell in love with her instantly.
That's where I am.
That is my girl, and we fell in love, and we've been in love since.
Yeah.
So what is a blowjob drink? I'm just so curious to know.
We should try it.
Chocolate liqueur shots.
Yeah, they're yummy.
With whipped cream on
And
the
you
top.
have to do it without your hands.
I figured as much. Yes, I figured I had a visual there. Yes, okay.
Now you know what we'll be doing at the show.
But yeah, it's just that it's just, again, like, I think that she is such a good, she's taught me so much about being a girlfriend. You know, I think like before her, I was like a lot of women, like, you know, you love each other, but you also, there's a certain level sometimes where you have competition with them. Mm-hmm. And I think she really helped me to realize that there's a level that you can get to where you're not in competition. You help each other, and that brings everybody up higher. You know what I mean? And that's what's so nice about it. Now I'm gonna cry.
No, don't cry.
No, just kidding. No, but you know what I mean.
So
I just think that that's really a nice
But
thing.
how did she do that? How did she teach you that?
I don't
You
know.
know, I'm a girl's girl. I have 5 sisters.
We're
You know, we're 5 girls in my family, and we're really, really close. And I have like 30 girl cousins, and we're super close. And I think at a very young age, we were taught that, you know, we have to back each other up, and we are here to help each other. And all women have different things. Like, we all have a superpower. We're all different. But it doesn't mean because, you know, this one might look this certain way, or this one, that she's better or you're, you know, not as good.
Right.
It's bringing everything together and just creating this like crazy strong like gang,
Right.
you know, like
Yeah.
we are a force. And I think there's nothing like having a conversation with a woman and hanging out and being there for each other. And I really think that we are like the real superheroes, women. And I just think like, for me, it's not, you know, it's just really, loving somebody and being there for them and knowing that I got your back no matter what. And I'll be there, you know, when.
Yeah, and it's like not even like a book smart. She didn't learn this anywhere. It's like a natural, it's her superpower. It really is. It's like a way she just knows of explaining things to her daughters. She has 2 daughters.
Yes, they do.
Who are, she grew up in a really hard life. She didn't, your parents didn't have very much money. Yeah, she grew up in an area that was a tough area, very different world than what I grew up.
And I think
she's taught them
with
so much.
confidence, with what I do with my daughters and with myself is, I always tell my daughters, your confidence should not come from, what you're wearing or, how you're dolled up. Your confidence is going to come from your knowledge and your heart and really staying true with who you are. You just, as long as you can step back and say, I am happy with who this person is. I would hang out with me. I would be my friend. Then you're fine, and accept that you make mistakes. Brush them off with a little bit of swag, and you're good. You know,
can be
and
confident in your own skin.
and be confident. And confidence to me is like an invisible jacket you put on, and you just go with it, and that's it. You have to make sure to have it ready whenever you need it. Because there's days that you're just like not feeling it, but hey, you can walk in like in our business. There's days that it's like my husband will say, we have a meeting. I'm like literally in like sweatpants. But you know what? Put my hair up in a bun. I'm gonna kill it because I have passion. I have, I'm motivated and I'm confident about what I'm gonna say and what I'm gonna do. And it doesn't really matter how I look. So that's something I stress so hard on my 15-year-old and 13-year-old daughter. Because right now with social media, everything's about how I look and what I'm wearing. My children do not have social media, and I told them when they're 18 they can.
No social
They're the
media.
only ones, and my daughter's like, I'm the only one in cheer that doesn't have social media, and I said, I don't care. That's fine. When you're 18, we'll have a different conversation. But I really want them to just figure themselves out, because it's hard, and.
Well, thank you for the example of sisterhood and friendship that you 2 have provided.
Right.
Really.
I want in, so if I could
Everybody wants to be her friend. She's my
You want to join the gang.
Yes.
So stay tuned when we come back. We're finally going to pop some pimples.
Thank you so much.
so
We'll be right
welcome.
back,
Thank
you
you for
guys.
having us.
Are having a very special episode hosted by Dr. Sandra Lee, aka Dr. Pimple Popper. And we're finally going to pop some pimples.
Yes, we've got a lot of virtual or like fake pimples to pop here because we can't really pop people's pimples. So these are a lot of the things that are going on in my life these days. I get cupcakes by Blessed by Baking, a wonderful baking company. They make me these interactive pimple popping cupcakes. We're all gonna pop one together, get our fix. I know Lauren wants her fix. So, and then I also have these Blackhead Rice Krispie treats. So we can use a comedone extractor and push them and express them, and it's delicious. You just have to close your eyes if you're gonna eat it. That's all. There we have that, and then we also have my game. I can't believe this. We have a game coming out. I think it's gonna be in Walmart and Target. I think it might be even now. I'm not sure, but this is a game you guys are going to have to try it out. I might have to have one of you guys see if you can pull a pimple here and see what happens. It's so
Wow. Should we start with the simple extraction?
Yes, let's do this. Here, please.
Okay.
Wow.
Let me handle, I got to have one
This
to
may be the
host
first time
here.
I'm ever not going to eat sugar in my life. No, just kidding.
You can do
Here you go, Rob.
Okay. So now, is there actually?
Here we go. Sip.
This is a real tool that you can use when doing your at-home extractions, right?
Yes, this is a comedone extractor, and this is what I use in my videos and for my patients to extract blackheads. So you guys are going to see the proper technique.
Oh God,
Here
we're
you go.
learning. Okay.
So you guys. Oh, here, let me give one to Lauren.
Okay.
Okay.
Here you go.
Okay. So.
There we go. Okay, so yeah, you can show the camera maybe. So you're just gonna squeeze. You guys can have your own little joyful hour moment here by yourselves. You guys, I know you guys love your.
Okay.
So you just have to squeeze them. You can. This one's for you. On a cupcake.
Wow. There you go.
Yes, there you go.
No way.
Really? Okay. So what are you gonna do?
She doesn't like.
I'm done.
Genius.
my God.
I mean, they're cold.
How we have to do this one.
Oh, that's all you.
Yes, and then this is the cupcake.
That is so
Yes, you gotta squeeze it.
Oh, okay, that's
That's your pimple cupcake, and they're delicious.
Now, oh my God, so satisfying. Is there a proper hand placement, Dr.
Whatever you want to do, it's free for all when it's a cupcake.
Okay,
my
so
gosh.
when it's an
Pull this
actual
out.
pimple, is
I
it
would-
better with the thumbs or the?
I would say, come see me. Don't do
Okay.
don't do it.
Don't
do
DIY
it.
this.
Know when to pop, know when to stop. That's what we're saying.
Oh my God,
See, that's how you get your
so
fix.
satisfying though.
Oh wow.
Yes.
That should be good. You popped that one really good.
And
Well,
then we
we're
have.
all about confidence, and we're definitely confident to have this
Oh,
show.
those are so cute.
They're so
These
cute.
are my favorite thing because when you open
it's
them,
delicious.
you put them on your feet and you're popping somebody's. If you don't want, if someone makes you mad at work, you take your shoes off and pop their heads. And then they say pimple popper on the back. So
It's hilarious.
Oh, that is so
You have the best.
And then you guys have to try to extract a pimple. So much swag. Who's gonna try that? You gotta spin it.
Okay.
Okay. And then what are we on that that side right here? Can you pull one? Who's
Who's gonna do it?
I'll do it. We get you to do it.
It's
You're wearing
water
white,
in
so
there,
the
but
water. Okay.
sometimes but you can put vodka. I don't know if you don't pull it, but you have to use your hand.
Why did we put
I don't know. I'm sure.
It's water? Go.
Would you like to try one? Oh, come on, Ralph. You can
I'm
do
good.
it.
I'm good. I never liked it as a kid. But I can watch you guys.
That is hilarious. Well, thank you
Okay.
so much
She
for
can do
tuning
that,
in.
yes.
Thank you for being such an incredible host with
Right.
us today.
Thank you so
Yes.
much, Sandra.
So satisfying.
Good morning,
Oh, I didn't set it up.
First live streaming daily talk show coming to you Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. You can also catch us as a podcast on iTunes.
That's right. We're waking up the world together. Please like, share, and comment. Have a divine day.
It's going to be a good morning, Lala.